out with my queen mother, and my phone started blowing up. Everybody sending me pictures of Donald Trump allegedly having been shot. Dr. Umar, what are your thoughts on the attempted assassination of former President Trump? So I stood back and I said, let me give y'all my political analysis. There have been 4 presidents assassinated in American history. There was Abraham Lincoln in April of 1865. There was a second president who was executed in 1881. There was a third president, William McKinley, who was executed in 1901. There was President John F. Kennedy, who was executed in 1963. President Ronald Reagan, unsuccessful assassination attempt in 1981. And then there was President Trump, unsuccessful assassination attempt, July 13th, 2024. If you don't believe in coincidences, I want to ask you a question. Donald Trump's assassination attempt took place on a Saturday. Ronald Reagan's assassination attempt took place on a Saturday. The second president to be assassinated in American history, his assassination took place on a Saturday. President Lincoln's assassination took place on a Friday. President McKinley's assassination took place on a Friday. And John F. Kennedy's assassination took place on a Friday. 6 attempts, 4 successful, 3 on a Friday, 3 on a Saturday. Is that a coincidence? Why can't nobody get shot on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Sunday? I believe that the white power structure carried out that hit yesterday. And I do not believe it was intended to kill anybody. They did kill an innocent bystander, but if you understand the history of American government, collateral damage is what they do. Remember, they let Pearl Harbor get bombed just so they can justify their participation in World War II. America will kill her own to get what she wants. I think we all know that. How many soldiers have died in Iraq and Kuwait and all these other places for drugs, oil, and opium? So if you think America won't kill a couple people to achieve a goal, you don't understand American history. But I believe the power structure did it for the same reason they for the same reason they shot Ronald Reagan. And it was to endear Ronald Reagan to the American people. Ronald Reagan came over from Hollywood. He was not a traditional politician. Donald Trump came over from the business world. He is not a traditional politician. Ronald Reagan was shot 2 or 3 months after his first inauguration. Donald Trump was shot a few months before the re-election. I believe that that shot was done to intensify the narrative that the Republican National Committee is using to paint Donald Trump as a man of the people and a martyr. They want him to look like he's being unfairly targeted so that poor whites, African Americans, and other minorities will swing their vote to his way. That was a publicity stunt. It was not an execution. I'm going to tell you something. If you know anything about the history of the Secret Service, if you know anything about the history of the FBI, if you know anything about the history, if you know anything about the history of the CIA, Homeland Security, they don't make mistakes. First of all, whenever there's a government execution, there's always 2 shooters, never 1. There's always 2 shooters. When they assassinated Dr. King, the shooter was a police officer for the Memphis Police Department, and the backup shooters across the roof was the Green Berets of the U.S. Army. And neither shooter ever knows about the other shooter. So if they intended for Donald Trump to be unalive, if the first shooter missed and hit him in the air, the second one would have got him. Y'all understand that? Yeah. Also, before presidents show up, they completely canvass the entire area. There Trump who they loved and they shot at him. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. That was a publicity stunt to garner votes for Donald Trump. I don't think it was done by the Republicans or the Democrats, because the United States of America is not run by Republicans and Democrats. The United States of America is run by the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the National Security Agency, the Federal Reserve, the Rothschilds, the Morgans, the Stanleys, the Bilderbergs. Don't know Republicans and Democrats make any decisions. That's why when they ask me, should Joe Biden step down, it don't matter if he step down or not, he ain't making no decisions. So we need to understand that. So that is currently where I stand on the Donald Trump situation. That was a whole bunch of smoke and mirrors to engender him to the American public and make sure he carries. And I'm going to tell you this. Based on that attempt, I believe the power structure want Donald Trump back in office. What happened yesterday convinced me that I'm not sure, but I feel right now that he is going to be the next president. Because remember, they choose them anyway 4 or 5 years in advance. They already know who's going back in the White House. And your vote ain't got much to do with that, okay? Politics is local. We need to be worried about what the governor of New Jersey is doing. We need to know about what's happening here with your city council. We need to know about what your state reps and your U.S. reps are doing. Your state senators and your U.S. senators. That's what y'all need to be worried about. Washington, D.C. will take care of itself. You need to worry about Newark, New Jersey. Black power? Black power. Brothers and sisters, in conclusion, I just want to give you an update on Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. Yes. We have one more paint day we got to do, brothers and sisters. We got a couple floors we need to cover up. And then, that's really it. Some drop ceiling tiles to put back up, and then we're going to be applying for our certificate of occupancy. Once we get it, we're going to have a grand opening. I'm looking at Kwanzaa. I'm looking at Kwanzaa. Could come before Kwanzaa, but I'm looking at Kwanzaa. One thing I need y'all to help me out on, if you can. For this fall coming up, I'm going to be hosting a series of retreats to start healing our African family. Are y'all following me? Yep. I need y'all to help me find it. You got my phone number so you can send me. Some of y'all might know people who have their own campground. Black-owned cabins, Black-owned campground, Black-owned retreat site. I want to have a retreat for married couples. I want to have a retreat for single mothers of autistic children. I want to have a retreat for black men who've been sexually abused. I want to have a retreat for our mixed race African family. I want to have a retreat for every population in our community, and there's hundreds of them. But we got to start somewhere. I want to have a retreat where we get out the city, go into nature, talk about our problems, go through some healing sessions, some ancestral rituals, do some things to begin the process of healing. Because as I talk to people, as I travel the country and travel the world, I keep hearing the need for healing, for healing, for healing. And if we don't start healing, we'll never win the political war against white supremacy. So we gotta start healing. So if y'all know of any places, even if they're not black owned, would you say, Dr. Umar, I was at a retreat at this place, I think it would be perfect for that. They got water, they got hiking, they got nice cabins, they got grills where you can grill food if you want. It's a real good place. It's in New Jersey, and it only takes about 2-3 hours to get there. It's in New York. It might be down south. I don't care where it's at. But please help me find some locations, because I want to start scheduling retreats, because some of y'all might want to be on some of those. I want retreats for black mothers who have bad relationships with their daughters. I want retreats for black men who don't have a good relationship with their sons. I want to do retreats for those who are recovering from chemical addiction. I want to do retreats for black women who've been domestically abused. I want to do retreats, and more retreats. I want to start getting into the healing. Education is good. Political science is good. We got to start healing our family. Newark, New Jersey, on that note, I'm not going nowhere. I'm hanging around. I love you all. Peace and love.